All right, so I watched Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh's, let me get my words right. Matt Walsh's book movie on, am I a artist? And it was high level cringe. It was. Now I liked it. It was funny, but it was still high level cringe. And it was high level cringe because the people, the way they was willing to humiliate themselves to reconcile for being the R word, it's just weird to me. The lack of self respect was just weird. I mean, I've seen this, and they didn't really go into um, they didn't really go into like a whole lot of other instances where people was doing this kind of stuff, but it was just it like if you wanted to like introduce somebody to what this anti art word industry is about, then this is good for that. Now, what Matt Walsh did in this movie, which he brought up in an interview with Jordan Peterson, is wasn't going to really be confrontational towards these people. He was more so going with their logic and taking it to its logical conclusions, and that's what he did sometimes. Now, he did it in a funny way, but that's what he did in a lot of times. And he did interview some self-respecting, we'll just say white people, because people of color won't. I mean, I've used that term just to like anybody else. Let's just put it like well, anybody, nobody else would subject themselves to this kind of treatment. They just wouldn't. And we would know if a white person asked us, or any other race of person would ask us to do something like this, we would know they're a problem. And this is like a litmus test. If you're like if you're a white person and you watch this, and a person and anybody else think that you should do this kind of stuff to atone for your R word, then it's just like they probably got racial issues themselves. They're probably the same thing that they say they're claiming to fight against. Now when he talks to these people, he chose how much it costs to talk to these people. Now, when I went and saw the movie, it was with one of the co-writers of the movie and whatnot. It was so he does his movie with a black guy, and the black guy was there doing talking about the movie there, and he was just talking about how Matt, it was hard for him to keep a straight face, even though Matt kept a straight face during the whole movie, and Matt just saw it as like he's just fighting evil. And but yeah, these people were willing to go ridiculous lengths to show that they're not to atone for their R word, that they don't really atone for, because you don't really atone for this stuff. You just are perpetually that according to these people. There's no like because you're white, you're automatically this, which is the R word in and of itself. You can't say that on YouTube for some reason, whatever. But yeah, anyways, this is worth seeing. And the reason why they showed these costs is because they don't want these people to get another dime. They don't want these people to get another dime. That's what the co-author of the movie was saying when he was talking to us. But not only that, it shows how these race hustlers have been working in the past. So it's not just these people. It's not just the anti-R word people that are just getting this. It's the race hustlers too that get a whole lot of money. And this has been talked about by people like Thomas Sowell or even Manning Johnson, who died in like the late 50s. Manning Johnson died in the late 50s. He was talking about the communists and how the communists was using this kind of stuff, the race industry, to really foment division. You can see how this kind of activity could really set a bad taste in people's mouth. But yeah, like if you're a white person and you watch this, and the person and anybody else is sitting watching this movie, like, I don't see what's wrong with people doing this. I don't mean it like we shouldn't be allowed to, like the freedom in America should be taken away from them kind of thing. If they don't see anything like morally wrong or cringe about this, then they probably got racial issues too. Because if you ask them would they do this for you, they'll probably not do it, and that should be a red flag in and of itself. But yes, I recommend seeing it. It doesn't really go into anti-white it doesn't really go into anti-white prejudice that much. more thoroughly. There's people who do that, but it doesn't really do that to a huge extent. Um, but I just, but it was just it's kind of like a starting point to exposing this kind of stuff to people, and then and so and see what kind of mindset the people have who subject themselves to this, and then you can go from there you can introduce them to more material that would they'll understand why to be unsympathetic to this kind of stuff, because this kind of stuff is very very manipulative, very, but you can see how these people are very very manipulative, and not only they're very manipulative, that's why they hate you can tell why they hate masculinity too, because like in the beginning, Matt came as himself, and they kicked him out, and he was like, "I don't feel safe" or whatever. And then he disguised himself as a soy boy, effectively with like he changed his appearance to look more like a soy boy. We just put it like that, and people were willing to listen to him because he presents himself as a neutered man, and it requires you to be a neutered man to subject yourself to this. And this is why a lot of people who um, cry the R word like masculinity be neutered, in particular white male masculinity to be neutered. They go after African American masculinity too, but they go after it a little bit different. Um, but anyways, that's really um, that's really all I have to say about that. It was an entertaining film. It was just so cringe. I just was just watching these people was just so it was just so cringe. That was just the overwhelming emotion that I had in this movie. I guess I'm sensitive to that kind of stuff, so sensitive to cringe. But yeah, it proved a point. It serves to prove a point that he was trying to show that these people are not your friend. These people are not your friend. These people are out to make you subservient to them, dominate you, and they don't care about your self respect. They don't, as a human, and leaving these people in charge is dangerous, just because since they will crucify you and everybody around them for the sake of their guilt in atoning for the sins that they haven't committed. This is like uh at least in religions there's a way you can, like, in certain religions there's like work based where you could like sacrifice something or do something to please God. In Christianity you can accept Christ as your accept Christ, what he did on the cross as atonement for your sins. But these people flat out say there's no atoning for your like if you have a certain skin color, there's no atoning for that. You're automatically the R word, and there's nothing that can be done about this. These people want to burn everything down, and they have nothing to offer to building this replace, which is very dangerous, because that's when you get like that's when you really get tyrants and bad meaning people and things of this nature. But anyways, that's all I really have to say about that. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching, and have a good day. Peace.